Cars. What do you think of when you hear the word cars? Do you think of cars themselves? Or do you think of the movie series? Cars obviously has never been the greatest franchise of all time, and well, it's obviously not trying either. And well, it's relatively easy to make a cars ranking. Only I'm not sure if I like one or three. What? Spoiler, I'm an idiot. Anyways, so this is gonna be a Cars ranking, and obviously, yeah, we're not talking about the greatest franchise of all time, but it's always been one that I've enjoyed for the campiness of it all. It's a nice little franchise. It started in a nice little place, and I think it's good enough. Obviously, it's not breaking any ground. It's not reinventing anything. It's not even very good at all, but it's fun enough for what it is. And we're gonna be ranking the Cars movies. Alright, here we go. But I've become a better film critic since then, and I realize stuff better. And I mean, the problems with Cars 2 are not hard to find. I mean, for me, it's never been the switch from the country to the city. I always thought that, hey, in the first movie, Lightning's exploring the country, in this movie, Mater's exploring the city. And while I still think that, there's obvious bad. It's obviously a bad movie. To start with, Mater, no, he really shouldn't be embarrassing McQueen. He's the one making the mistake, not McQueen. And aside from that, I don't even know what happens in the end of the movie. I got lost, so I don't even really know the full story. I'm pretty sure there's some spy dynamics I was probably missing. So yeah, stating the obvious, this is not a good film on any basis. I guess like it has some enjoyability, but overall, to state the obvious, Cars 2 is not a good movie. Following the Cars 2, we have Cars. Now, for me, Cars has always had a bit of a drag in the first half. So that's not why it's as high as my number one, which if you're smart, you already know what it is. Um so while Cars, I still think it's an enjoyable movie enough. I mean, I like the theme about American nostalgia, but the odd thing about it is that it's very aiming for a younger audience. And the theme about nostalgia, you have to be at least somewhat old to understand. The target audience is not going to understand the message. And you're probably saying to me going, well, do target audiences this young ever understand messages? And no, they don't. But come on, you're going to have a theme that's for people, I don't know, 60, and most of the movie is aimed for 6-year-olds. I don't know, it doesn't work that well. At the same time, I still feel like this is an enjoyable movie enough. Owen Wilson gives a solid performance, as well as Paul Newman, R.I.P. Um, Also, Larry the Cable Guy is Vader always charmed me. I can definitely see how he's a bad and, for most people, unfunny comic relief. It's understandable, but he never really annoyed me personally. So overall, I've always really liked Cars. I think it's a fun movie, and I really like that sad scene, or at least attempt at one, where they're talking about how the town lost popularity. I thought that was always just a really nice scene. So I really kind of like Cars. It's not a movie that I'd watch when I have a million other movies to rewatch. But it's a fun enough movie anyways. My only gripe is that there's really just a lot of dragging, and it doesn't know that really who its target audience is. But it's a fun enough movie. It's cheesy, it's enjoyable. It's Cars. Cars 3 for me is the movie in its franchise that feels like it knows what it's doing the most. It knows the character of Lightning McQueen since it's known him for 11 years at this point. Um, and it knows how to send him off. I think the storyline very cliche, but that's the case with all of these movies. I think Lightning McQueen's character arc here was better. There was definitely less dragging, so I was more constantly entertained. And this is the best Cars movie. Um, it it just is. Um, I don't know. It was just a good time. I liked the theme about passing on the torch. Of course, Jackson Storm is he's not really that bad at first, but oh man, then he commits murder, or at least attempted murder. And honestly, Cars 3 is just kind of the best. Not by a long shot necessarily, because I don't know. I still like Cars, but there's dragging in that, like I mentioned. So I still like this franchise. I even like Cars 2, if I'm being honest with you. But so really, Cars 3 just kind of comes in first place because it's just really the one that did everything the most right movie sense. And I just feel like after the disaster that's obviously Cars 2, this is just a nice comeback to the Cars franchise. I like the dedication to Paul Newman. I was barely in Cars 2, and Doc Hudson, and the legacy will live on and all that stuff. And it actually feels like there's been a lot of time between this movie and the first Cars. And I'm glad Cars 2 exists, so we had some time with like McQueen between he's young and he's old. So this is a very good movie, and I think it finished the Cars franchise off on a high note. And it's the most enjoyable, it's the most watchable, and it's the most just generally good out of the Cars franchise. Having Cars 2 last place is probably right because what an atrocious piece of garbage. Anyways, it's still fun enough. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your ranking down below. Pretty sure I already know what it is. It's probably pretty easy to guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.